from an impact point of view, we want to be as compliant on the top as we are on the side. So the airspace that we create there is actually very important to try and condition the shell so it always performs in the same way, because we can never be sure of the accident. And then, now we're left with, we still have to slow people down. We have to absorb the impact. And this is where the expanded polystyrene actually has two constructs. First of all, it has tiny little bubbles, and those, as they compress and burst, actually give us a stopping distance. But those bubbles are actually embedded into a matrix of plastic struts, which actually also acts as like a mattress, like coil springs. So once the bubbles are burst, then the actual mattress itself, and that's why when you look at a helmet actually compresses much more and bounces back. So you can't always see as much of the damage that's on the outside. And then, of course, we come to the inner surface. And here where the fitting system has to work with the skull. We've been given a scalp. And the scalp actually is a very important part to try and stop that twisting action that we've got when we land on the ground. But we need the helmet to have some sort of moving, but we don't want it to move so much that the helmet actually exposes parts of the head, and so therefore doesn't give us the protection. So whilst we're wanting a close fit, we actually also have to have some allowance of movement. We're not creating a thing where we're putting Frankenstein bolts on the side, which we actually screw into your scalp to make sure it's locked on. There's got to be some, and it's almost like in reins, you can have too much grip. You need sometimes a little bit of movement, and it's trying to get that balance, which is really part of the technology. So sometimes people look at it, it can be quite simple, and when I see Anne jumping these jumps, it's really simple. But you have really, it's only when you try and do it that you really understand what some of the stuff that's going on. So hopefully that's been interesting to kind of give you a little bit more understanding of actually what's going on underneath. And back to
It's fascinating getting to know Charles Owen over the years, because when you end up learning what goes into these helmets, it really is amazing. And to me, the educational part, and I think professionals, well, everybody needs to pay attention how the helmets fit, how the chin straps are, whatever brand helmet somebody wears, but for the safety. And then when you start to really hear how they're made, and all that little thing does, and most of us just want to wonder what it looks like, how does it look, but all this, it can really save your life. You can break your arm, break your leg, or break things. You only have one hit. And I started wearing them years and years ago, before most people with a chin strap, because I had several concussions at home. And that's why I went to Charles Owen. They fit great. They've done all years and years and years and years and years of studying and staying current. But as professionals too, we got to educate the kids. We got to educate everybody for safety, safety, safety. And it's so important.
And do remember, we do have an accident replacement policy. Part of that is to try and make sure that we see helmets that have been involved in accidents. Because every time you look at a helmet that's been involved in an accident, you can learn a little bit more and make the next generations a little bit safer. And that's why we're very generous with our discounts to try and get people to actually replace their helmet, have the best protection on all the time. But also we get a little bit out of it. So, and our accident reporting, we're actually interested in any helmet, in any accident situation. So it doesn't only have to be Charles Owen, but obviously the replacement policy only applies to the Charles Owen hats, but we're always interested in what's going on out there. Thank you very much.